The views expressed are not those of local community broadcasting, WYML LP, or its management, volunteers, or underwriters. Greetings and welcome back to the Personal Safety Show. This is Marcus Melnick from Firearm Mentor and Stress to Logic, your host. And before the break, we were talking about safety on campuses. Many years ago, I was the director of security for a suburban high school outside of Chicago, and I joined an organization called IACLEA, International Association of Campus Law Enforcement Administrators, and I went to their conference in Boston, I want to say it was 2000. In any event, they have training specific for colleges. I found this a great group, tons of interesting information. And I also did a little bit of research into safety in college campuses. So college campuses typically are fairly safe. There's less than 20 crime incidents reported per 10,000 full-time students. This is in 2018. That's one of the most current years for data that's available. But it doesn't mean that safety and security basics should be left at home with someone's high school trophies. Really have to be aware of your surroundings. You have to use your brain power for studying and crime fighting with a comprehensive safety in mind. The whole idea is to be proactive. So here are some safety tips. Did you know that around 50% of all sexual assaults on campus happen between August and November? It's also known as the red zone. I have no idea why. Freshmen and sophomores are at a greater risk of sexual violence than juniors and seniors, and most victims of sexual assault on campus are victimized by someone they know. 1 in 5 undergraduate women experience a sexual assault or attempted sexual assault, and alcohol or substance use is present in the majority of college sexual assaults. And I have a son, and he's going to be going to a college, and some of this is geared towards him, some of it is geared towards female students. So what is the red zone? Well, it's the time of year that takes place basically the beginning of the fall semester through about Thanksgiving break, and that's when most sexual assaults on campus happen. Why does this happen? Well, fall semester coincides with parties celebrating return to campus and Greek life rushing, and it's also when younger students are first exposed to their college campus culture. Many students also have limited education on sexual violence and consent. So let's learn some more. Let's define the difference between sexual assault, harassment, exploitation. So sexual assault is any kind of non-consensual physical sexual act. Sexual exploitation is when you use someone for one's own advantage in a sexual manner. Sexual harassment is unwelcome sexual advances or gestures, requests for sexual favors, and other unwanted conduct of a sexual nature, especially in the workplace or other settings. And sexual trauma is trauma centered around one's sex, one's reproductive organs, or sexual assault. Finally, sexual violence is an umbrella term for any kind of non-consensual sexual contact behavior or aggression. 26.4% of all undergraduate women have experienced sexual assault during college. Only 6.8% of undergraduate men have done the same. 25% of undergraduate non-binary students have also experienced sexual assault during college. So sexual assault's not the only thing that we should be worried about in college. There's all sorts of other things. There's fights, there's thefts, all sorts of things. So when your student is on campus, he's going to want to create a campus emergency contact, saving the emergency phone or text number for the campus police department in their phone, making it a favorite so they can call for help in an emergency. And we always want to tell our students to look for on-campus emergency help And most colleges and universities have this blue light telephone placed around campus for emergency help. Find them, be aware of where they are, learn how they work, and take routes that keep you close to one. You can also sign up for notifications. If the school has a mass notification system, it's usually text messaging or push notifications or email. Make sure you sign up and adjust your privacy settings to let those important messages get through. And these systems can send emergency notifications about extreme weather events or serious situations like an active shooter. Next, learn the layout of your campus. Keep an eye out for areas with little or no lighting, limited visibility, and other tricky spots that you want to avoid after dark. Don't go to an unknown area for the first time by yourself or after sunset. Get to know campus police and security resources. If you're the victim of a crime or have concerns about a situation, reach out to the folks on the campus who can help you. Most universities have their own police department. Different than a security department, a police department has the authority to make arrests. Also, a police officer has the authority to carry a gun on school grounds. Services that you won't find off campus could include things like door and vehicle unlocks, safety escorts, lost and found, assistance completing police reports, counseling, extra patrol for suspicious behaviors, free self-defense classes, emergency phones, and off-campus transportation if you've had too much to drink. But in many cases, you just need to be aware of what is offered at your campus. Several ways to stay safe when you are at college. Get to know the campus safety office. Take precautions after dark. Lock your doors. I tell that to people locally too. Be smart on social media. Oh boy, I say this, I get on my soapbox. Don't say, I'm going to be out of my dorm room at a frat party. Just like I tell people locally, don't say, oh, I'm having a great time on my vacation. Come and burglarize my house. Hey, post the pictures, post the stuff on social media, snap it, put it on Facebook, Instagram after the event has occurred. That way, no one can trace your whereabouts and then go and steal stuff from you. Be careful getting into your car. Head on a swivel. Have a plan. Understand crime rates and trends. Learn how to defend yourself. Stock up on safety supplies. What are some safety supplies? Well, it really depends. If a student is going to school, say in Minnesota, December through February in Minnesota, probably is, and I've never been there, but probably is not the warmest place. And it's possible. What emergency could happen? It's Minnesota. What if the power goes out? What if an ice storm snaps a power line and the dorm doesn't have power, meaning heat? So emergency supplies could be an emergency blanket, could be an extra blanket, it could be hand warmers, the things that you rip open, put in your gloves. Those are various things that would be emergency supplies. I know a lot of college dorms, they don't like open flames, so you can get an electronic lantern. You can get flashlights, all sorts of things like that. Extra batteries. Those are some emergency supplies. What are some precautions after dark? Well, you can use the buddy system when walking at night. Always call campus security for a ride. If the student has a car parked in a lighted area, and know where you're going before you head out. Where are you going? Out. Yeah, that's what I used to say to my parents. So we want to keep our blinds and curtains closed. No reason to give thieves a front row seat to your goods. Add a contact sensor to doors, drawers, mini fridge. I don't know about that. That's kind of extreme. Pick up a laptop lock. Use a small safe to keep your valuables protected. And we want to be smart on social media, which we just talked about. Turn off your geotags. When you're getting into your car, have your keys or your fob ready. Don't get to your car, look down into your purse, fumble around for your keys. That's when the attacks come. Also, don't leave your valuables in plain sight, like backpacks, purses, laptop cases, packages. They should be covered or put in the trunk. And covered just means, hey, throw something on top of it, like a blanket, like a t-shirt. Doesn't have to be super, super secret. When you're going to go out, walk with confidence, Make arrangements to get home safely, especially if you're going to a party. Please take the earbuds out. Please take the headphones out. Don't bury your nose in your phone. Be in condition yellow, especially if you're unsure. And download your campus map and use GPS to find stuff. Avoid walking along deserted paths. Paying attention to crime rates and trends, that's just a matter of going on a website every so often. Also, you want to learn to defend yourself. And that doesn't necessarily mean, hey, I need to punch back. No, what it means is you carry yourself differently. There's a level of confidence that you have when you are out and about. I hope these campus safety tricks help you. One of the best things that I think, this is an opinion, you can get for someone going to college, particularly a female student, but not if they have to fly there, is a small can of pepper spray. The reason why I say not if they're flying there is because you cannot bring oleoresin capsicum, OC, or pepper spray onto an airplane, even in checked luggage. It is not allowed because, seriously, if it leaks, explodes, discharges, and the pilots get it in their eyes, who's going to be flying the plane? So these are not allowed on planes. But if you're driving your student, absolutely. My student is driving with his mother and his mother's boyfriend. I'm flying. But when I get there, I'm going to go and buy a canister of pepper spray to give to my students because you just never know. Yeah, he's a dude. He's a guy. But you just never know when you might need it. So I'm going to be going to Walmart and I'm going to be buying him some various items for safety. As a matter of fact, now that I'm thinking about it, I might just go on Amazon and order them. That would be an interesting thing. And I'm going to be preparing an emergency kit for my son. It'll be quite interesting. When his mom sees it, what do you need that for? Yeah, I was also the toilet paper fiend during COVID, so I saved everyone's butt. And that's my little joke. We didn't run out of toilet paper. My in-laws did. We gave them toilet paper. I said, oh, so we saved their butts too. I want to pivot a little bit and talk about revolvers. Now, I'm Gen X. I grew up on revolvers. They are very familiar to me. I love shooting them. And up until about, 5-6 years ago, I was on the revolver bandwagon and I had a little bit of an incident where nothing bad happened, but I had a 5-shot 38 with me. And I said to myself, this is not enough. So I switched to a semi-auto because I got scared. And that's the truth. Revolvers are still viable options. There are positives and negatives to revolvers. There are positives and negatives to semi-autos. And until Smith & Wesson came out with the EZ series, I would recommend a revolver for those who did not have appropriate hand strength to manipulate a slide. Now that there's the Smith & Wesson Equalizer and EZ line, we don't have to do that. Now we have a 9mm and we have 380 options for people with higher capacity. So according to a recent report, there were 8 million handguns produced in 2021, accounting for more than 63% of all firearms produced that year. Wow, we didn't know that revolvers were that popular. And while 9mm pistols are dominating the U.S. pistol landscape, overlooked categories continues to prove detractors wrong, and that category is wheel gun. In 2021, more than 1 million revolvers were produced in the U.S. for the first time, 1.159 million, which is a 16.8% increase year after year. Previous year was 993,000 produced. So there's top 10 revolver manufacturers of 2021. I'm going to go over them. Number 10 is Nighthawk Custom. After dropping out of the top 10 in 2020, Nighthawk Custom is back. They partnered with legendary German firearm manufacturer Korth to develop and import their high-end revolvers. In a review of the Mongoose Carry Special and Heritage models by Roy Huntington, he wrote, Nighthawk Custom collaboration with the German makers of the astounding Korth revolver series has helped serve to rewrite expectations on what a revolver can or might be. So they produced a little over 1,100 revolvers. Next is Magnum Research, and their motto sometimes is bigger is better. They're known for their Desert Eagle, but they also have become popular for their Big FR, which stands for Biggest, Finest Revolver. Although the F, I would say, stands for something else. Big F Revolver. Offered in 10 pistol short cylinder and rifle long cylinder calibers as long as barrel lengths from 5 to 10 inches. Magnum Research produced 1,800 revolvers in 2021, including over 1,000 chambered in 50 caliber. Next, we've got Automated Finishing Company. I've never heard of them. They more than doubled their production in 2021, moving up 2 positions to number 8. Not a bad company that started out as a hand engraving company in the 1940s. They produced over 2,000 rifles. Then there's Standard Manufacturing Company. They produced slightly fewer revolvers in 2021 than the prior year, but they're still number 7 on the list. They produced 16,000, almost 17,000 revolvers. Number 6 on the list, moving up 2 positions from the previous year, we have Kimber Manufacturing. They produced almost 17,000 revolvers in 2021, which was the first year they released the K6XS, which is a smaller, lightweight version of the K6s, built specifically for concealed carry. It's chambered in 38 plus P. Then we've got North American Arms. When it comes to pocket pistols, they are the smallest ones out there. They do produce semi-auto pistols in 32 and 380, but they specialize in rimfire mini revolvers. In the 1980s, Dick Casul of 454 Casul fame owned Rocky Mountain Arms, which later became North American Arms. After several years, he and his partner, Wayne Barker, sold NAA to Frank Talley of Talley Manufacturing and moved to Freedom, Wyoming to re-engineer NAA's line of mini revolvers and large-frame single-action revolvers. NAA's version was chambered in a 45 Colt/450 Magnum Express, while the new Freedom Arms models were chambered in 454 Casul. After both companies manufactured both product lines for several years, NAA discontinued manufacturing the large revolver, and Freedom discontinued the mini revolvers. Today, NAA is known for its mini revolvers, while Freedom Arms ranks 12th on the list, known for his big bores. The total revolvers produced in 2021 was 57,000. I really like those teeny tiny small revolvers. I think they're neat guns. Number 4 on the list is Colt. They moved up 1 spot to number 4 with over 65,000 revolvers produced. In 2021, Colt brought back the Python in stainless steel. Available in 3 barrel lengths, it is available chambered in 357 Magnum, which means it accommodates 38 Special. And the same year, Colt also released the Anaconda in 44 Magnum. Number 3 on the list is Smith & Wesson. They were the overall top producer and top handgun producer in 2021, but despite a year-over-year decrease in revolver production, the company managed to hold onto its top 3 spot in this category. The majority of the company's revolver production was in the 238 grouping, 63%. So they made over 232,000 revolvers. Number 2 on the list, Ruger and its Sturm Ruger & Company. It was the only manufacturer in 2021's top 10 who produced revolvers in all 6 caliber groupings, producing over almost 277,000 total revolvers. 209,000 were chambered in 22, which is a higher percentage. 35,000 chambered in 357 and 19,000 in 38. And number 1 on the list, Heritage Manufacturing Company. They dominated the revolver category, producing 42% of all U.S.-made revolvers in 2021. They have been a top producer of revolvers since 2019. There are 781,022 calibers produced in 2021, of which 491,000, or 63%, were produced by Heritage Manufacturing. So the heritage guns that I've seen are single action and mostly in 22. Does that mean they don't have other products? Probably not. They probably do have other products, but in reality, I've seen them on the 22 market. And a 22 single action revolver is a lot of fun to shoot. Kind of a pain in the rear end to load. You've got the side gate. You've got to rotate the cylinder. It goes in. I'm sorry, the round goes in, and then you have to eject each one out individually. It is a pain in the rear end, but it's a decent gun for new shooters to learn on. It forces them to cock the hammer, aim, and then fire, and then take a little rest. Cock the hammer, aim, and then fire. Whereas a semi-auto or a double-action revolver, you can just keep pulling the trigger. Bang, 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 bang. And when that happens, rounds usually don't go in the places where we want them to go. Stay tuned while we pause for a small break.
I want my listeners to know that this is my dream, teaching people about safety. If it weren't for you, if it weren't for my listeners, I couldn't live my dream. So on behalf of my family and myself, I want to thank each and every one of you for allowing me to live my dream. And I also want to continue to live my dream, and I'm excited to continue to spread the word of safety. Recently, I began a new service as a conference keynote speaker. So if anyone would like for me to speak at future events, or if anyone knows of an introduction or would like to discuss how we can work with one another, I'd love to do just that. The keynote speaking website is www.stress2logic.com. That is STRESS2logic.com. If you're aware of any conference speaking engagements where you'd like to have me speak, I'd love an introduction. You can always share my electronic business card, which is Marcus Melnick, MarcusMelnick.com. Now, back to the show.
In a few weeks, actually on August 23rd, I will be presenting at the Midwest Security and Police Expo, MSPCE, something like that. And anyway, I've been going to the conference for a long time, and now I'm going to be a speaker. The conference is free. It is held in Tinley Park, and it's on a Friday and Saturday, I believe. So if you need more information on that, please reach out to me. My electronic business card is marcusmelnick.com. That is MarcusMelnick.com. And I'm hoping I'm going to be talking to a lot of the vendors there. It is my hope that I will get several people to be interviewed in upcoming episodes. They've got a list of really interesting vendors. Like one of them is Stop Sticks. What is Stop Sticks? Well, you've seen in the movies that if there's a police chase, there's a police car that goes way ahead and throws out this accordion type thing onto the roadway after the non-involved cars are cleared, and then the car that's being chased actually hits these, it pops the tires. It would be an interesting little thing. There's also a ton of crime analysis, various products, and my goal is to bring them to you over the from now until the end of the year. I have some other people that are lined up with some absolutely fantastic interviews. And a couple of weeks ago, I had Tosi Ufudike, who is running for office, on the show. And very interestingly, there was someone who wrote into her, one of my fans. I'm thrilled to get this feedback. And he wrote to her and he said, I just listened to your interview on the Personal Safety Channel. I'm impressed by your clear message of supporting your constituents and the residents of Illinois. We are transplants as well. We moved here a little over a year ago from Seattle for work. My wife grew up in Prospect Heights. We are both concerned about the direction that the current leadership at the federal and local levels is steering us. I am encouraged that your convictions align with ours. I received a mailer from Nabila Syed and discouraged by the views expressed. on this fancy flyer she sent, or so. I looked up to see who was the person running opposite her. I look forward to you representing us in the Illinois House. For me, that warms my heart. Oh, wow. I actually have a listener. Okay, I'm being sarcastic. I'm trying to be funny. But this type of feedback is awesome. If you have other feedback for me or any other guests, I'll tell you my electronic business card again. That is Marcus, Marcus, Melnick, MELNICK.com. And there's a reminder on the 24th and 25th of August, which is coming up next weekend, is my next concealed carry class. We have plenty of room for you. You can go to www.firearmmentor/classes. That is FIREARMMENTOR.com/classes. I hope to see you there. Have a safe week, everyone.
We have monthly concealed carry license CCL classes in the northwest suburbs of Chicago. Dates can be seen at firearmmentor.com/classes. If you have a question, we can be reached at www.firearmmentorcard.com. That is our electronic business card, has all of our contact information and links in it. It's the easiest way to get a hold of us. Until next time, stay safe out there, and I'll see you at the shooting range. This is Marcus Melnick from Firearm Mentor signing off. The views expressed are not those of local community broadcasting, WYML LP, or its management, volunteers, or underwriters.